Do you ever have this one game session that is crazy? You start peeking and going for shots you almost never would, and hitting them, winning games easily and hitting your peak MMR. Well, no, that would almost never happen in Rocket League, does it? But if you've ever had a great session like that, then you will also know the opposite end of the spectrum. Toxic or tilted players. Now, these guys are something else, man. And with this game being so competitive, it seems to make everyone like it, even if you're playing well. Now, do these players have just like major anger issues? Or is it just people's mindsets and not wanting to lose? Now, let's talk about this. Rocket League as a game is one of, if not the hardest games to actually become pro in. Now, that's not to say that all of these games are just easy, it's just in terms of mechanics. Rocket League does indeed take a lot more hours on average to get better. Now, that is most likely the reason for people tilting in this game. It could also be the amount of Fortnite kids that came over to this game since 2020. But I think the big issue here is just players' mindsets. And what I like to think is that players seem to have major issues with their thinking in Rocket League, and that they actually don't realize that them getting angry just makes them play worse. Or if they do realize it, then they're stupid. But anyway, and ego. I recently came up against a player that had one of the craziest egos ever, and he was basically just being an asshole to my teammate. And I'm guessing one of them, or well, both of them had already played a game with each other, and yeah, they must have just somehow gotten triggered at each other. I don't know, but yeah, you kind of get what I mean. And yeah, ego is a major thing in Rocket League. It kind of puts me off the game myself, personally. And it kind of makes it so that you really don't want to make a mistake and end up having your teammate throw, because that happens 90% of the time in this game. Don't understand why, as soon as you go down a few goals, the teammate decides to just sit there and not play the game anymore, even though you could still come back. That really aggravates me to the point where I don't want to play the game anymore. And you definitely would have experienced this before, because it happens to basically, unless it just happens to me, but it seems to happen to a few people I know as well. Yeah, I know you guys definitely have this type of like thought process in other games. Valorant may be one of them, that you just feel like if you don't get top frag, you end up just gonna have some toxic ass player shout at you the whole time, and it's just not going to be a fun experience. Stranova is also another one for me. I feel like I don't want to mess up in game, else I'm going to end up having a Russian scream at me because I didn't get a kill. But yeah, and I just don't think that players seem to realize that they aren't going to have some like god level player. Like, we're talking RLCS type player as their teammate every game. Now, like, some people may just be having a bad game. I'm 90% sure that the people that are angry at your teammates are most likely going to be angry when they are the problem as well. Like, you're not always gonna have a god level player, and you know, obviously, as I just mentioned, most people are gonna be having a bad game every now and again. You're bound to run into a teammate or a game where you're gonna have a teammate or whatever, or maybe yourself. It's just gonna have a bad game. It happens, and one pit happens is all I can really say. And that's for every rank in Rocket League. It's like that for even like everyone. Even the pros have had bad games sometimes. You know, just obviously not as much as us players, I'm not gonna lie, but it still happens. And in my honest opinion, this whole toxicity thing with Rocket League is really simple to understand if you have like half a brain cell, and it's just because it's a game. And the gaming community as a whole has been like this for years, dating back to the Black Ops 1 days when voice chat was kind of crazy. And let's be real, come on, like, it ain't as bad as Rocket League. Like, Black Ops 1, peak Black Ops 1 days, right, with voice chat was crazy. Like, we're talking crazy. Even Black Ops 2 and all of them were crazy. But yeah, you get what I mean. It ain't as worse as what we've got in Rocket League. We just got some very petty people that are very angry about losing the game. Which, fair enough. But that's just my opinion about that. And it just seems to be ruining the game. Like, this is the whole reason why I'm making this video. It's just because I just came to the game again. Like, came back. And just peaked in MMR, actually. Not anymore, but did. Which is, I guess, nice. I did peak at least. And I'm feeling, you know, as good as ever at the game. And like 75% of the games, I would say, has had at least one toxic player since I've peaked, right? One toxic player, 75% of the time, right? I'm telling you, on the screen right now will be a video actually of me playing one of them games where the guy just AFKs, I don't know. But a lot of them games happened where we'd be 3-4 goals down with like 4 minutes to go. And we'd still have an AFK teammate, even though we'd have so much time to come back. And it, you know,
Obviously, when I had that win streak to my peak, didn't happen. I didn't have a single player, right, that was obviously toxic. Except for the other team. There was every now and again, there was a teammate that was quite toxic. Once you start to lose, it just starts to become a big problem with people just being really toxic for no reason. AFKing, as I've already mentioned. And, you know, most people just join in with the toxicity. But I just sit back and just watch it. Unless it's my team that are the toxic ones. Then we've got some problems, and yeah. But anyways, I know like short video, womp, but yeah, I'm back from my little short break, if you could call it that, and back to kind of weekly uploading. So W's for that. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to comment what you think is the reason for people in Rocket League being toxic, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the Discord as well. Please join that and say hi in there. And I will see you guys next week with a new video. Peace out.